Welcome back everyone. Cannon with Burger Motorsports. Behind us is our all new 2024 manual Supra. We can't wait to dive into this today. We're gonna throw all of the Burger Motorsports goodies on it for our full bolt-on kind of setups. Let's see what kind of power it makes on the dyno. But first, let's go over our spec. Like I just said, this car is the manual with the cognac, however you pronounce it, interior. It's pretty cool, but on the red, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about it. Let us know down in the comments, but we got a manual Supra. That thing makes this car so much more fun. I took the car out to dinner last night and had some hood rat fun in the streets of Mexico on the way there. This car is way more fun than the automatics are. If you guys haven't driven one yet, it's an absolute blast, especially being manual. The car feels like it has another 100 horsepower than it really does. Let's get the show on the road and let's get it thrown on the dyno. We'll be dynoing the car today completely stock, and then we'll throw the JB4 on it and utilize our all new 158B58 Gen 2 firmware on the JB4. On top of the new firmware, we'll also be testing out the B58 Gen 2 fuel pressure connector on the Supra, show you guys how that works with the fuel open loop setting. And then as for the performance modifications goes, we'll be adding our CANFlex LED ethanol sensor onto the car, as well as our Burger Motorsports cold air intake. We just got the car strapped down. It's still on the factory tank of gas. The car's only got 180 miles on it. Get this thing calibrated. Nothing's on it right now. This will be absolutely no modifications. Factory 91 pump gas. Let's see what kind of power it makes.
There's a dyno run on a fully stocked 2024 Supra. Stock numbers running 368 wheel horsepower, 380 foot-pounds of torque.
Now that we just got our stock baseline runs on the Toyota Supra, let's go and throw the JB4 on it, start cranking this thing up. The JB4 is now installed on the Supra. We use the quick method on the OBD2, which takes about 20 seconds to install. Rather than routing it through the firewall, the quick and easy method just routes it straight through the door jamb. Now that we've got our new firmware set up for the P158 for the B58 Gen 2s on the Supra, let's go ahead and run JB4 Map 1 with fuel open lip set to 0 and 6-cylinder timing set to 0. Doing so will disable IET spoofing as well as the fuel pressure connector to start. We'll dyno the car on Map 1 and 2, and then we can see how much power we'll make with just playing with FF. After seeing how it goes on 91 pump gas, we'll more than likely end up enabling IET spoofing to help bring the timing down a little bit to help suit the 91 octane. If you don't know already, IET spoofing can be used to falsify the intake air temps that the ECU is seeing in return to drop timing targets, so there's less chances of pre-detonation or not. Now that I've set JB4's fuel open loop to 0 as well as 6-cylinder timing to 0, let's go ahead and run JB4 Map 1 on 91 pump gas.
This is JB4 Map 1 on 91. .404 to the wheel and 451 torque.
Not bad. Map 1, 70 wheel torque gains. So this is the Burger Motorsports B58 fuel pressure connector upgrade kit. This is going to let us have control over fuel open loop. Essentially just give us more control with our fuel trims so we can run more boost and more ethanol.
This is JB4 Mat 2 with the fuel pressure connected. .407 wheel horsepower, 484 torque.
So based on the log and the graph, the car made an additional 30 wheel torque with the fuel pressure connected. It's working, but it looks like we're up against the octane. We're looking at the log right here. As you can see, timing on ignition 1 through 6 doesn't look too great. That being said, let's go ahead and throw this Flex Seal kit on and start cranking it up. So we just got our CANFlex ethanol system attached onto the car. Since there is no transmission connector, we have to connect to the ECU using posi taps. For automatics, you can just go ahead and use our plug and play connector here. A part of the new CANFlex kit, we have this all new digital display for CANFlex. This displays how much ethanol is in the tank currently. We're sitting at an E28 mix. We're trying to bring it up to about E35. We'll go ahead and pump some more ethanol into the tank, let it run for a little bit, let it mix in. We'll come back and show you guys the updated readings. I went to move the cardboard box and hit the fire hydrant.
What?
Or not the fire hydrant, the extinguisher. So we just mixed in some more fuel. We're now showing that we're at E34. We can also verify and check that we have the proper signal going to the JB4 via the JB4 app. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, it says E34. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and switch this car over to JB4 Map 4 and see what kind of power it makes. So some of you guys may be wondering, what all does the CANFlex system really do for these cars? The new CANFlex LED sends both ethanol mixture and low fuel pressure via CAN bus for flash only or JB4 cars. It has a 5-volt ethanol output for legacy options or JB4 customers who don't want to use CAN bus. And it has this nifty LED display, which we just showed you and talked about, which you can throw in your glove box or leave under a cover in the engine bay, so you have an extra way to check the mix. With all that being said, let's go ahead and switch the car over to JB4 Map 4, an absolute boost target map, and see what kind of power it makes.
All right, this is JB4 Map 4 on E35.
All right, let's see what she made. 438 wheel horsepower and 484 wheel torque.
That log looked really good on JB4 Map 4. Let's go ahead and kick it over to JB4 Map 5, see what kind of gains we get.
Map 5, JB4 on E35.
457 wheel and 501 wheel torque.
Pretty good numbers for JB4 Map 5. We're talking almost 100 wheel horsepower gains with no other modifications other than a JB4 and just adding in some ethanol, but it's not really a modification. I'm getting tired of these stock turbo sounds. You can't hear it. I want to be able to hear our turbo, so let's go ahead and throw on our Burger Motorsports cold air intake, see how she sounds. Also, on top of throwing on our cold air intake, I want to throw on our Burger Motorsports Oil Catch Can to save any oil going into the motor. We want to ensure that this car lasts a long time to come. Now that we have the strut brace off, I didn't think about this originally, but let's go ahead and take the other one off as well. Throw on our Mk5 Supra Strut Braces to really enhance the look of the engine bay. I just went ahead and switched out the bottom base of our catch can, switched over to our new clear one. What's really cool about this is when it's mounted up right over here, you can see exactly how much oil is in the catch can itself after you just drove the car or something if you're catching any oil in your catch can. Super cool feature, so we thought we'd throw it on the car. So I just finished up installing our Burger Motorsports Billet intake. Hear these glorious intake sounds and see how much more power we can make. I forgot one last thing. We're missing our strut braces. Let's go get these things thrown on here and really enhance the overall look of our engine bay. This is you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Oil catch can, billet intake, and strut braces all installed. Check this thing out. Looks completely factory. CANFlex isn't visible. None of that flex fuel kit is visible. Just the strut braces, our beautiful intake. I mean, the strut braces themselves are beautiful too in this matte black finish. Our oil catch can fits nice and seamlessly underneath of the engine cover. That being said, it's ready to switch over to JB4 Map 6. Let's see if we can hit 470 wheel horsepower, which if you guys haven't done the math already, that's over 100 wheel horsepower gains. I also forgot to mention that on our Gen 2 B58 with our new P158 firmware, Map 4 and Map 5 are also a lot more aggressive than standard. I just hopped back into this car to get ready to do some dyno runs in it, and I noticed when you push the clutch all the way in, the travel's way too far. It's super unnecessary. So that being said, I highly recommend doing our Burger Motorsports clutch stop. I'm gonna hop out, go grab one off the shelves, and I'll go over what it does. Here it is, our BMW clutch stop. I recommend this to all of you guys that have a manual BMW, as it eliminates that dead space and extra travel that's not necessary for these clutches. Not only does it get rid of that dead space, but in return is going to translate to faster shifting times, which is going to make sure you're faster on the track. The trick to getting it installed is to make sure that you set it in place with your hand, depress the clutch fully, push firmly, you're good to go. I just totally forgot something. Before we get into these dyno runs, I want to show you guys what that intake sounds like. So I'm going to fire it up, let it warm up for a second, and we'll get some dope intake sounds.
Hi, JB4 Mk5 on an E40 mix.
Alright, 467 wheel horsepower, 515 wheel torque. That is an insane jump.
Well, we just did that sweet Map 6 dyno run. Check out this shifter. I just realized something. I've never seen a shifter quite like this before. I'm gonna take the camera for an angel real quick. Look at this. It's all one piece. You can't change the shift knob. So, I mean, I find that pretty cool, but it's different, right? Like, this whole boot extends all the way up the knob. That's pretty much gonna end it for us right there as far as the dyno goes. We're gonna take the car out into our private streets of Mexico to go do some, maybe swing it around Angel. Of course, he's gonna be wearing a safety helmet. You just won't see it in the video. Hopefully he doesn't die. Anyway, I think those are great numbers. It made mid 460 wheel horsepower for just about all of our Map 5 and Map 6 runs. We couldn't crank too much more out of it out of Map 6, as this is pretty much the limit as it sits currently, stock downpipe and everything else, as you guys already know. Next video, we'll make sure the car has an exhaust on it. With all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and unstrap the car right now. We'll take it out to go have some fun.
I'm genuinely so nervous right now.
Want to know the nice part about manual cars? They're way more fun. Pretty fun. I mean, this car, I almost looked at the RS3. This car is super fun. I mean, manual, I'm so glad they finally did manual. I know it's been out for a little while, but we finally got our hands on a manual Supra. Ton of fun. We can't wait to make a ton of more content with it, as well as the RS3. Maybe we should make a video with them together, comparing the two, their differences. Let us know down in the comments what you guys would like to see next with the Supra or the RS3 in upcoming future videos. That's pretty much all we have for today. So huge gains, like 100 wheel horsepower gains, JB4 only. We're gonna probably start uploading videos every 2 weeks or so now, as we wanna focus on a bit more social media side rather than just doing YouTube solely. 2 weeks away, we'll drop our next video, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe, like, drop a comment down below, and share with your friends. We'll see you next time.